Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Nick Armenis here, your friendly Google Ads guy. Are you tired of mediocre Performance Max sales? Want to take your Performance Max campaigns to a new level? This video is for you. I'm pulling together the absolute ultimate Performance Max campaign strategy guide for you to skyrocket your online sales. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through step by step the process of how to properly set up Google Performance Max campaigns in 2023. This is going to be live setting up a brand new client's account with their Performance Max campaigns. These guys haven't run any traffic to their store. It's very, very new. It's pretty much a few days old, this store, so I don't tend to show this stuff live from start to finish, but this is really, really exciting opportunity. If you want to see more of this content, guys, please make sure you hit that notification bell, but otherwise, let's just jump straight into it. So to understand this video, I really need to cover off a few important concepts. The first is asset groups. These are really similar to Google Ads campaign structure where you would have ad groups, right? So an ad group, think of an ad group almost like your asset group, right? It's basically it's a set of items that we can group together where we group like items or concepts together. And this can be done a number of different ways. We can group things by products, niches, collections, brands, price points, things like that. There's no wrong or right way to do this. We will cover this more off in detail, but I'm just trying to get you familiar with these concepts because it's just slightly different to how Google Ads are run for other campaign types. Within each asset group, you can add what's called an audience signal. Basically, we're giving Google an audience or an idea as to what our customers kind of look like. It's really just the starting point, but it's just another term to be aware of. If you're already getting conversions and have some good audiences with Google Ads, it's with Google Ads Manager or Google Analytics, you've probably already got some really great audience signals sitting there. And Google will know who your customers are, so it will be quite easy for it to optimize for conversions already or conversion value. So don't worry about it too much. The final term is ad assets and listing groups. Ad assets include images, video, the ad copy, headlines, and other content under the asset group. Think of it almost like the product group, I guess, or the actual ads or the structure of what goes into the ads. So now I'm going to jump into the actual screen share and I'm going to take you through how to set up the campaign. A few things to know before we start, that there are obviously some requirements to set up Performance Max campaigns. You need a Shopify or e-commerce store if you're doing e-commerce or a website. You need conversion tracking set up and correctly. I'll quickly take you into that when I jump in. And then you need a Google Merchant Center account with the feed set up and live so the products can be seen on Google Shopping. So let's get into my guide, the ultimate step-by-step Performance Max setup guide. Okay, we've just jumped into this new client ad account, guys. So what I had done is late last week, I actually just started a shopping campaign. I was meant to film this a lot earlier. I started a shopping campaign in this account just to see if we can just start getting some results. We've really only had one conversion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Performance Max so you can see me do it from start to finish. This is the guide, the ultimate step-by-step Performance Max setup guide. I want to show you how to properly do it so that you're set up properly from the get-go. So the first thing I want you to do is come into Tools and Settings, right up the top here. Go to Conversions under Measurement. And just make sure that you have a Google Shopping app purchase event or that you have the transaction info coming in from Google Analytics and that the value is recording, and ideally that is recording correctly, because if it's not correct, it's never going to be 100% correct. But as long as we're getting close on that and it is recording those conversions, then Google Performance Max will properly optimize and we can actually make sure that we're going to be able to read the data correctly. Google will be able to optimize, it will be able to find more customers like the people we come through the door, and we'll be able to make decisions with that data. So coming back into here, to start the process, guys, you need to just click this little blue plus symbol here, click Create Campaign, and then click New Campaign. From here, we need to select a campaign objective. For most of you, since the channel's focus is e-commerce, let's select sales. If you were doing something else, you'd select leads if you were doing lead gen. So the next step is setting up our correct and optimizing. So the next step is choosing our conversion goal that we want Google to optimize for. So these are the events we want Google to not only record, but find more of these people. So I don't want phone calls, so I'm going to remove that. I also don't want contacts, so I'm going to remove that because I'm only interested in purchases here. Okay, you will see that here. That's all you want to optimize for if you're doing e-commerce. From here, let's click continue. And then we want to select Performance Max, which will be able to reach audiences across all of Google with a single campaign. If you want to learn more about it, just click this little blue text here. From here, click continue. So then obviously we're going to select, so we've selected Performance Max. Quickly here, just review if that is the correct Merchant Center feed, especially if you have multiple. If you just have one, chances are it's going to be the correct one. Always just check it. And then this is going to be our campaign name. I'm going to call this Performance Max All Products. And the reason I do this is at the start, we have no idea what's working well, which is why I did that standard shopping campaign just to get us started. But now I want to try this Performance Max campaign. I'm actually going to let the shopping campaign run side by side with this. We'll find that the Performance Max will obviously get most of the attention, but you can still get some sales from that other standard shopping campaign as well. From here, let's click continue. And in bidding, let's optimize and focus on conversion value because we are running an e-commerce store. So we want to get more sales. If you're really worried, you can set a target return on ad spend. So basically setting a target return on ad spend will tell Google, hey, we want this return on ad spend. It doesn't mean it will hit it. It will just make the machine learning work a little harder to kind of get what you want. I suggest at the very start leaving it empty because sometimes I find it actually can get an even better result than a target return on ad spend. And I think if we set a target ROAS early on and it's too restrictive, then we just don't get any impressions or clicks. So it's best just to leave that at the start, unless if you already have sales coming in, set your target return on ad spend just slightly lower than what your average is, and then you should start to see good results fairly quickly if you have an account already getting results. So click next. And here I want you to select the location. I prefer doing one campaign per location. You don't have to with Performance Max, but my suggestion is that you do set just one location. If you want a different location to whatever is the default of your account, you just go here and you can type it in. You can also use the advanced search function there to find more locations, and you can get very, very specific with that. In the languages section, if you want to target, say you're in Canada and people speak French as well in the French provinces, then basically you would add French here as well. But most of you are going to be leaving English or whatever your home country is. Final URL expansion. Basically, this is under Performance Max. It in essence can create dynamic search ads, which if you've been following my channel, then you would have seen that, dynamic search ads are a really good way to pick up some really top of funnel keywords and stuff like that and top of funnel traffic. Basically what it will do is it will scan your entire website, scrape it, and start to come up with dynamic ads, and it will start to show up for more and more queries as long as it thinks that it will get you more conversions. Okay, I suggest leaving it to send traffic to the most relevant URLs. If you want to, you can exclude URLs, or if you want to, you can just put some in here. I don't find that it will make a huge difference, but I think for an online store, it's not a bad one to pick up that top of funnel traffic. You'll find at the end of the day, most of your sales, most of your traffic will come from shopping. Now, under more settings, I'll quickly just go over them. Basically, ad schedule is you can set this to only run in certain hours of the day. So if you run a physical store and you only want these ads to run during those hours, set it to your store's hours. I suggest letting it run all day because remember, at the end of the day, Google Ads is based on people searching. People often aren't searching in the middle of the night, and if they are, it's very minimal and you can still make sales. So I suggest leaving the machine learning to work out its own ad schedule. Start and end dates, I don't find much success unless you've got some really big promotion and it's going to be amazing and you've got creative for it and you can add it in there and you want to set an end date. My suggestion is that you need to let these run several weeks or months to get any reasonable data and traction and for it to optimize correctly.
So best bet is just to leave it. And then under campaign URL options, this is where you can add your UTM parameters and UTM tags. So let's click next and go into the next section. So now we come to asset groups. So asset groups are in essence how we can group products together. So these are the building blocks, as I say, of every ad. Google will test different combinations of all of these and create high performing ads over time across all the different formats. We can also select, as I said, the audience signal here as well. So this asset group is going to be all products. And then if you want to add an audience here too, name it with whatever audience you use. So I'm just going to put audience name here. But if you have a remarketing audience that you use, call it all products remarketing or something along those lines. We'll create one now so you'll understand what I'm talking about. The next section is the listing group. I mentioned the listing group earlier. The listing group allows you to select what products from your Merchant Center feed you want to run ads to. So I personally would start with all products, but if you just want to select a few, your best sellers, your best collection, a particular brand, you've got custom labels with your high profit products, whatever you want to do, do that. I suggest starting at least and having one campaign with all products, because at the end of the day, you do not know what is going to sell well on Google, especially if you haven't done it before. Click save. Now we get to build out all our assets, and as you can see, you can use the preview tool here to see what it's going to look like on YouTube, Gmail, search, display, discovery, and on computer and mobile devices. In the final URL, I suggest putting your homepage there or your collection page, something along those lines. URL expansion's on, so it will go further than that. Images. So now we select some images. So based on our URL, it will often show us some ideas here of images. So I really like these, and it is relevant to what we're selling. So I'm going to add these. You can actually scan another website or social media. We can scan our own website here as well. We can scan a Facebook page. If you have an Instagram, it will also scan that. You can upload images here as well. Our asset library doesn't have anything because it's a brand new site. So go through, select some of the products, some of the images or upload of what you would like. Now, because we're doing an all products campaign, they do need to be quite broad, right? So this is a 4x4 store. So I'm trying to put 4x4 related pictures in here. And just remember that treat this almost like your branded search campaign. You want to be quite broad, but still specific to what you do. And at the end of the day, most of your stuff is going to come from shopping. You can come back here, you can scan you can do so many things here. We'll find lots and lots of images for you if you don't have any. Otherwise, just use some of your product images. Then click save. Now you'll be able to see straight away what it will kind of look like on display, on Discover, on PC. I'll scroll down here. You can see how straight away the image changed to what I had. And now we're going to add in some headlines now we need to add in our logo. So now we need to add in our logo. I'm going to put this here. Click save. Once that logo is added. If you have any videos on YouTube and you want to run them on your YouTube ad here, then totally add them. If not, you can actually use the asset tool in here to create a video, or you can just leave it blank and Google will create a really, really average one for you. So if you do have one, I do suggest using it. Let's add in some headlines now. Your truck accessory store, option 4x4 accessories. Shop 4x4 parts in the USA. We're just going quite broad here. Remember, we're not going too specific. But if you're doing this for something specific, so if you're selling a particular thing, so wheels or whatever, make the headlines here relevant to that thing that you're selling, right? Free shipping USA wide. Things along that nature. Put as many as you want in here, but you don't want to you don't feel the need to put more than what you need, all right? It will go through and cycle through them and find the best one for you. Make it relevant, make it accurate. Long headline. The good thing with a lot of this too, guys, is it actually starts suggesting stuff as well. So you'll see this straight away will start to suggest some ideas. Popular 4x4 collections. I actually might take some of these for my description here. Sorry, my long headline. Just review them though. If they don't make sense, don't add them. But basically, the difference between long headlines and descriptions are just where and what ads they appear on. They won't appear on all ad types. Go through and have a look and make sure it looks good. Your truck accessory store, and then it has the actual description. So site links here, you can add these. Feel free to add site links in here. This is what they will look like. You can see that there. It pops up underneath the ad, and you can create more here. You're just going to direct traffic to the relevant URL, put in a description, put in the text, and you're good to go. I do recommend having some of these, but you do not have to. Call to action. If you're an e-commerce store, I like to use Shop Now, or you can just leave it and let Google decide. Further down here, if you have promotions, add them in. If you add a few products and you want to add prices, phone number, add that extension in as well. I don't believe these guys have a phone number, so we won't be adding that here. If you're doing lead gen, add the lead form. You can also add more information about your business. So we could add something like free shipping, huge range of stock, things along that nature, and then click save, and you'll see it pop up on the ads. Cancel, save. More options here. I wouldn't really worry about any of this stuff here. It's only if you want to add in interactive ads and stuff like that. Most of you will not have this, so just skip it. It's also just not needed. Audience signal, this is where we're going to create an audience so that we can give Google some information to get started on. So click create an audience signal. And I do recommend using your data first. So if you already have information here, like from Google Analytics, Google Ads, add all of these in so it gives some information to Google, right? From here though, we can also add in some demographic based stuff. It's going to give us some suggestions. So 4x4 parts, in market audience, I want to add that in. Off-road information, truck parts and accessories, off-road vehicles, vehicle parts and accessories. Great, we've got some good information here. We can also create a custom segment. So we can add in keywords that people search or people with interest or purchase intentions in these areas. You can choose either or, and I'm just going to call it truck and 4x4. Let's go here, truck parts. So we'll just put truck parts in, and we can put 4x4 store, 4x4 accessories. You can add as many as you want in here, guys, and then just click save once you're done. And I'm going to call this remarketing and truck audience. You can, whatever you select, just make sure you choose whatever, just make sure that it is relevant to whatever you've selected, then click save. Then click next. Set your average budget. Now budget, I recommend starting on a minimum of $20 per day, ideally 50. You can set it to whatever you want though. That's just my suggestion based on my experience. It can work on less. I suggest you don't, because at the end of the day, if you don't give it enough information, you cannot enter the audience, it cannot bid enough. So I definitely recommend starting on something like at least $20, $25 per day, and then you can build on that. Click next. It's now just going to check for errors. If there's no errors, you'll be good to publish this. And as you can see here, we can select publish. You can review everything again here. Click publish campaign. Now that is just going to publish, and you'll come up with a little thing here that says it's gone into policy review. And then eventually, within a day or two, you'll start to get impressions. Might take a little bit longer, so be patient. And then conversions. I think conversions tend to come, a week or two after starting most of the time, but just be patient, it will come. So that's how you set up a Performance Max campaign, guys. It's up and running now. If you want to, this is an optional step. You could add additional asset groups. And in these additional asset groups, you could use different creative, different products, assets, audience signals. So if you wanted to test multiple audience signals, you could do that. I'd love to know in the comments below what you try. If you did miss anything, guys, please go back through. I'll leave timestamps and I'll leave some links below. I am working on an ultimate guide to setting up Performance Max campaigns. I will leave that in the links below once it's ready to go. I hope you found this video useful, guys. If you want to get notified as to when I release a new video, hit that notification bell and I'll see you next time.